great question. Oh, this is old. Let me open a new version. What version are you working on? 19?
20.
20? Okay.
20 platinum.
Perfect. This is a great question, and I think we can absolutely create a custom. So you're going to have to create a custom symbol,
Sure.
which should be pretty easy. And then once we do that, we just need to make a symbol out of it. And once we've created a symbol, let me just walk through this. We'll walk through this together. Okay, so, and I'm just going to do this for these upright heads. But let's say, okay, instead of, like you said, an R. I want to see an R inside the circle. Rather than doing something like this where I've got an R next to it, I want the R inside.
Yep.
So what we would want to do is draw this. So I'm just going to draw a circle, and yeah, I'll just say it's 1 foot in diameter, and then I'm going to place a text line right in the center of this. That might be too big. Excuse me. I'll squeeze that down to 8. Change it to black. I'll go a little smaller. 7. Okay. So we'll say this is what I want my sprinklers to look like. And,
we are on the same page.
And for the fun of it, I'm going to actually thicken this line up just a bit. Okay, so I've got this set. Now what I want to do is pay close attention to my benchmark location before I create this symbol, because the benchmark location is going to create the insertion point of the symbol, which is going to be the same location as my sprinkler connection. So if I don't want this symbol to be at my thread connection point, I need to make sure that I raise this symbol a couple of inches so that it displays above the connection point of my sprinkler. So I'm going to grab my circle and my text, and I'm going to raise it. I'm just going to do 2 inches. So now when I create a symbol, the insertion point of my symbol is going to be 2 inches below the center of my circle and my text line. So with that selected and it being elevated above my benchmark, I'm going to create a symbol. I'm going to call this, I'll just call it SSP REL. Default symbol layer, that's fine. Okay, so I've created a symbol. Now I can select one or more of my sprinklers. We can do just one. We don't have to do them all in one shot. Once we assign a complex symbol to a sprinkler, that we can apply that complex symbol representation to all sprinklers that are like that one. So I'm going to select my sprinkler and my symbol. I think I have to have the sprinkler set as the target, so I'm going to make sure I click on this last. Go to Commands, Complex Symbol, Create. Now you can see it spun my rotation based on the rotation of my sprinkler. This is where complex symbols get really tricky. So these upright sprinklers have a rotation of 090. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to place a pendant sprinkler instead. Pendant sprinkler rotation is -90. So that's going to be rotated the opposite direction. So what I need to do is make sure that I'm going to split this symbol. I'm going to rotate it -90 degrees around my y-axis. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to recreate the symbol. And I'm just going to override the existing. And this time I'm going to apply this to my pendant sprinkler. Now I'm upside down. I think I needed to spin this the opposite direction. So again, I'm going to undo this. Split that symbol. Spin it to that orientation. Recreate. Redefine. And redefine my complex symbol. So, for the fun of it, I'm actually going to copy this. I'm going to make an A. So I'm going to split this. I'm going to create an A for my uprights. So I'm going to change the rotation. And I'm going to change my text character to an A. And I'm going to create a symbol.
You do all this so fast.
And I'm going to change this to an SSU. Add. And apply that to my uprights. And now, again, I can do that to 1, and if I want to apply this complex symbol to all of my uprights that are like this one, then I can go into my settings menu, turn on show complex symbols, and all of my sprinklers that are like this one now utilize that complex symbol representation. But sprinklers are very tricky, as you saw, based on the rotation of the sprinkler element, based on its orientation, we have to account for that when we create our symbols so that they're applied in the appropriate rotation for that specific orientation. So for pendant sprinklers, we want our symbol to be rotated to the right side of our insertion point, 90 degrees to the right around the y-axis. For uprights, we want our symbol rotated 90 degrees to the left side of our insertion point relative to the y-axis. But this is a great idea, Gary. I've never actually considered doing this.
Well, and what brought this up was I have a unique.
Now, I'm not sure this will translate to Sprinkler Legend, though. Let's see what happens.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't know what to do with this. It actually throws it off in the upper corner here. And I don't know that there's any way to get rid of that. Let me try this. So these two symbols, I'm just going to copy them into my sheet space. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to get rid of that. This may be problematic with the Sprinkler Legend. My initial thought was...
Well, I mean, it's easy enough to put the note, but I thought...
So check this out. So you can use the automatic function to update. Then we can toggle off, or we can toggle this prevent automatic update that kills the symbol at the insertion point. We can turn our automatic update back on. The symbol does not appear to redisplay, and then at this point, yep, those are huge. I need to scale those down. At this point, we can just place our symbols on top of our Sprinkler Legend. Whoops, that's the wrong axis. There we go. So this can be done. It may take a little bit of workaround. So I changed the properties. It brought that back. So I'm going to repeat this. Kill my automatic update to get rid of that. Turn it back on.
It's funny, the little quirks.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I can't help but wonder if I increase the quantity, does that symbol come back? It doesn't. Just when I change the display, when I changed my layer color or element color, yeah, that kept it. That didn't. It's not coming back now. I don't know. That's weird.
Send that to your code writer.
Yeah, right. Now I'm curious. I'm really, really curious. Let me. I'm gonna save these. I didn't think I had both of those selected. That was weird. Okay, I'm going to save these in my details, and then I'm going to open our internal build where we've added color to our sprinkler legend and see if complex symbol translates in our internal build here. I'll just drag that into there. Sorry. Actually, the program should have already done this for me. Complex symbol, sprinkler, there it is. So I already got these in here. It saves that for us automatically when we assign complex symbols. So I didn't actually need to do this.
You can't do an assigned complex symbol from a right click. It has to be from...
You gotta go through the menu. Yeah, I don't think there is a right click shortcut to assign a complex symbol.
Let me interrupt you, Brian, but would it be possible to add a symbol like that with an editable text to the sprinkler symbol legend? Like if you were only to put one letter or number or whatever it is in there, it'd be cool if it was just an option and you could, type in the one letter that you get.
So potentially, so for this same type of scenario where I've got my sprinkler legend in my sheet tab, rather than using these symbols, I certainly have the ability to split these symbols, and then once they're split, oh god, that's not what I want. Let me just zero this out. Yeah, I forgot when I scaled these down, it didn't necessarily scale the width value. So you can take this same approach, but rather than having the symbol, you can just have a circle with the letter and then change the letter to whatever you want. But again, this is on top of the sprinkler legend, and this would work until I turn off complex symbol representation. So if I go back to my regular sprinkler symbols, you can see this sprinkler legend updated. And if I open properties of this, it updates to show those new, the normal style, I guess, auto sprink style symbols. So yes, potentially you could, but you would still need to follow this complex symbol representation approach to kind of clear out the symbol box, or the symbol cells, I should say. Even if I turned this on and went to edit, there's not really. I'm just curious if I can delete those. I don't think that does anything. Yeah, it still keeps those. So to clear out this cell, we've got to use complex symbol representation to clear the cell out.
I was more thinking just in the
Oh, in the sprinkler properties.
Yeah, some genius on your end took the time to make it so that there's an editable one symbol or letter only option.
That's a good question.
Because that would make essentially just with letters, 26 more symbols. Anybody who sees they can see them.
Well, I think, and I know that I know we've got a task into our development team to add more symbol options. I'll find that task, and what I would like to do is add a box, just a checkbox that says text. And then there's a field where you can enter that field. So you check the text box and then enter whatever text. There obviously is going to need to be a limit, probably just a single character. But let me do this. Let me just take a screenshot of this, and then I'll try to make an example of what I think we want to do.
So then Gary will never have to do this again. Nobody will.
Right, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Okay, I want to copy that. Alright, so I got my new checkbox here. So we want to add a symbol that text and then just have like a field. This is something like that.
I can tell you this is way above my pay grade because I've been sitting here the whole time trying to figure out how to do what you did in like 35 seconds, and I haven't made it work.
Well, if you want to, while I wrap up this note, Gary, go ahead and share your screen, and then I'll walk you through the process on your end. Okay, let me add a new note and copy this in. Boom. Okay. Got that done. All right. Cancel that. Cancel that. All right. Let me jump back to your screen, Gary. Perfect. Okay. So let's start by selecting your symbol that you created. Okay. Go ahead and open the properties of that symbol. Okay. So we've got a rotation value of 0. Go ahead and cancel out of this. Place your benchmark at the insertion point of that symbol. Right click and split the symbol. With everything still selected, let's rotate this 90 degrees in a leftward orientation around. Cancel out here. So we're going to use our selection rotator. Yeah, so hit the negative Y button. Okay. I think that's what we want. So with this still selected, go ahead and recreate your symbol. And then click the drop down and just override the symbol that you had previously created. Click OK. Yep. Now select your sprinkler and your symbol. Keep your symbol selected. Click on your sprinkler so it becomes the target. Perfect. Now go to your commands menu and select complex symbol. Create. Yep. Okay, I've misremembered the rotation. We needed to go the positive Y direction. Yep. So go ahead and just split that the way it is. We have to actually, yeah. Which gets complicated to remember that, we got to split it and then rotate it. Yep. Just hit that twice, and then recreate the symbol. Okay, okay, and then add perfect.
I gotta do that up here.
Yep,
Okay.
complex. Yep. There you go.
Look at that.